Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's the thing. He had a career. Yep.
Every loss, the weight of every loss, dramatically changed the season.
Listening to the Sportz Nutz.
What is good, my beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Sportz Nutz. Matt, you realize this is episode number 51?
Ooh, we're getting a little long in the tooth there, man.
Sorry, my daughter, we got some hand stuff for my girls today, and Holden decided to play with it. We're not going to do that. Hey, it's been as you said, it's been an interesting week to say the least. You unfortunately you had an unfortunate anniversary yesterday, and obviously it's pretty hard to still wrap our heads around it. But obviously, we're thinking about you all the time. But other than that, let's see here. What else is going on? My mom had knee surgery, actually.
Oh, okay.
Mom had a double meniscus tear, so she had that repaired. Yeah, so the keeler knee injuries, they're actually real.
Jesus Christ, man, y'all guys.
We've fallen apart.
I need to sit down.
Hey, we got some really cool news to share with you guys. We just hit our 133rd subscriber for the YouTube channel. Thank you. That we are at 240 followers on Twitter, so we're almost to that 500 mark. Let's get that going, and then also we're almost to 200 followers on the Facebook. Let's get it going, guys. Matt, I'm really excited about our guest that we have on tonight. How giddy I get for the smaller schools. I've always been a lover of the smaller schools. Hawaii, small school. Let's see, whom else have we really honed in with, Tulane even, I'm really excited to have our guest come on today. But before we do, just going to give you guys a quick remember to go on to our Facebook page, our Twitter page, like, follow, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, our YouTube channel, folks, is at the Sportz Nutz 176. And then Matt is also getting close to sharing with us our TikTok page. So I'm looking forward to hearing about that one. But before we go any further, let's give a quick shout out to Tequila's Grill and Easy. Look, Matt, you know what's coming up, right? It's holiday time. And what do people want to do at holiday time? They want to book corporate gatherings. They want to have parties, that kind of place. Well, Tequila's Grill and Easy is where you want to go to get it going for the party wise. Matt's favorite, the homemade salsa, the queso. I mean, you name it. This place has everything. My wife will tell you it's some of the freshest fajitas she's ever had in her life. And look, y'all, Cassie's very particular about her Mexican food, and this is some of her absolute favorite. Go ahead and give them a call today at 864-307-8028 just to get you guys booked for the corporate event or holiday party, birthday events. Better yet, go on stop by 5155 Calhoun Memorial Highway, Easley, South Carolina, 29640. That's Tequila's Grill and Easily. All right, Matt, are you ready to bring on the man, the myth, the legend himself?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to bring on the director of sports media, Mr. Jason Barfield. Mr. Jason, how are we doing, sir?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Well,
thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So, obviously, this has been a fantastic year to date so far with Sam Houston State and the Bearcats. You guys are coming off of a victory this week, actually. I know it was only 9-3, but the key thing is that you guys got more points than the other opponent. You guys are bowl eligible for the first time in your school's history. What kind of feeling is around town, around the school, is that you guys are bowl eligible?
It's been pretty incredible, especially when you look at how last year went. I mean, this is really our first year of bowl eligibility. as a full-fledged member of FBS. Last year, we were still in that first year of transition. And, it didn't go well. Starting off 0-8 in your first year transition to FBS was tough, and they were hard losses. And I think to flip the script and come back with a 7-2 start to the season, it's been pretty exciting, and I think it's validated a lot of the reasons why we've made this move. And because it wasn't a wildly popular move. There were a lot of people who questioned why we would do it, especially coming off of a national championship at the FCS level. And then you start off 0-8. It's hard to you start having a hard time justifying the move. But I think this year, getting things back on track and being bowl eligible this early, it's been massive.
Matt, so Matt lives in Atlanta. I'm actually from Atlanta. I live in Easley, South Carolina now. And Matt and I we talked about this several times with Kennesaw State. They're doing the same thing y'all went through. They transitioned from basically nothing to FCS. Then now they're in the FBS. They finally got their first victory ever at the FBS level, and it's a sense of like the monkey is off the back. And Matt said this. He actually said this last episode was, now that we have seen Kennesaw State get that taste of victory, we think more is going to come. And I said, well, I even mentioned, I said, what'd be interesting is if they turn around and they end up doing what Sam Houston State did. He goes, that would be pretty cool. So next year, Kennesaw State starts out 7-2, and that just goes to show that anybody, anytime can come and play. And obviously, it's a great time to be a Bearcat. Now, I will tell you this: I'm a little biased because I'm a University of Hawaii guy. You guys did demolish UH,
yeah.
And that was a very big moment, because I can tell you the talk around all of the state of Hawaii was that you guys were going to lose to Hawaii, and you guys came and you played, and you guys have shown week in, and you have to apologize, my 3-month-old is over here, but you guys are week in and week out putting all the doubters to rest. And I'm honestly, I'm excited for you guys. And I just saw a report today that it's the so early bowl predictions, and I want you to kind of tell us, what do you think is the bowl game you guys are probably going to go to? Because obviously you guys are nowhere near done yet. But you guys could even go 10-2. That would be phenomenal. But what bowl game are you thinking you guys might go to this year?
So I'm kind of in two minds here on this. When you look at the Conference USA bowl projections, or the bowl tie-ins, they've got 4 primary, and that's the New Orleans Bowl, I don't remember the name of it, but the bowl that's up in Frisco. Then you've got the bowl in Hawaii, and then Bahamas. I would love to go out to Hawaii. I'd love to go to the Bahamas. But to be honest, with this being our first ever bowl game for this university, I think it's something our fans should really be able to take a part in. So, New Orleans is kind of my pick. That's where I would love to go. But New Orleans or Frisco, I think would be great, because our fans will be able to travel and be there and see it in person. And so, obviously a bowl is a reward for the team and the players and the staff and all of that. But it's also a reward for our fan base who's been here with us through this transition and, went through a couple of years of not being playoff eligible or bowl eligible. And so I'd love for it to be a drivable bowl game or easily flyable bowl game so that as many of our fans can be there to see it.
I will tell you this: it's I lived in Hawaii for 3 years, and it really is something special. It's a beautiful place. I will tell you though, you get what's called island fever. You can drive a few hours north and you're in another state. However, you can't do that on Oahu. You have to. They call them puddle jumpers. You fly from one island to the other. And we had a good friend of ours, Ashley Lilly, who played for the University of Hawaii, who played in the NFL, and he said he looks forward to the holiday season because they go from the Big Island, which has 2 or 3 restaurants, that's it, where he's at, to Oahu, where you have like the touristy side. And even then, you're limited because of the space on the island. So But I will tell you this: you guys do have, yes, it's very slow, like small. You have a 3% chance of still getting into the 12. And that in
Wild.
itself would be amazing. Think about like how cool would that be? You guys you weren't bowl eligible. You were 0-8 starting last year, and then here we are. You're part of the 12. That is like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's
Now
crazy.
Matt has a question he wants to ask you. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Jason. I know you guys last year. I think you guys were 3-9, if I'm not mistaken. But to go from that last year to your record this year, can you kind of tell us or compare and contrast what the differences is in like the morale of the team, the morale of the staff, even the morale of yourself? Can you kind of tell us what the difference was last year to this year?
Yeah, last year was hard. I mean, it really was, because it wasn't just that we were 0-8 to start. It's how we lost the games. They were close. They were one play here and there. I mean, they were overtime. We had big leads. We gave up a 4th and 19 to FIU that they ultimately went down and scored. We got down on the goal line at Liberty, a game that we had no business being in, and we had 3 shots on the last 3 plays of the game and couldn't come up with it. So it was like every single week when the opposing coach would do their weekly press conference, they would be like, Sam Houston's the best 0-5 team in the country. They're the best 0-6 team in the country. They're the best 0-7. You eventually just get tired of hearing it. And so, getting that first win, I think it did. It kind of opened things up for the guys, and you saw a different team. And once you get that first win, then you kind of start getting on a roll, and they win 3 out of 4 to finish out the year, and then have really gotten on a roll this year. Opened up with a win at Rice. It's been a long time since something like that has happened. And so I think the way that the team finished last year, you went into the offseason thinking, this has a chance to be a good season. So, it's not like I don't think that this has kind of hit people like this is coming out of nowhere. If you watched the team play last year, you knew they were capable of winning. They really should have won more games than 3 last year. But just they got into that funk and they couldn't pull one out late. And so I think it took a couple of wins last year to go into this offseason and say, okay, we can win some games. We got to make some changes. We got to continue to build the depth, which we didn't have. I mean, it was still a predominantly FCS roster, but there's still 9 guys who are playing right now who are on the national championship team. So you've got guys who have experience, who have won, but now you're starting to see the FBS caliber players who have been recruited, who have come in through the portal, who have added to that experience and talent that's on this roster.
It's a really you got it. I can even just like the way you're talking. I can feel the excitement because it's a whole new ball game when you move up from lower level to. I mean, people don't realize there really is a significant difference from the football championship subdivision to the FBS, FCS, FBS. 2 different ballparks. I mean, obviously, you do have those rare flukes with regards to like North Dakota State, South Dakota State, who can pretty much play with anybody. As we've seen this year, they hung really well with Colorado. So, anybody can play at any given time. Matt and I have said that countless times. And I'm just excited to see where you guys go. And the future is bright for Sam Houston State,
And I'll tell you the big difference. If you want to, depth is obviously a big part of it. 85 scholarships compared to 63 and that kind of thing. The thing that Coach Keeler talked about last year that they really weren't prepared for.
Whoa. Hang on. The last name. But I don't know if you saw Matt and I just go, wait a second. Coach Keeler.
Yeah, Casey Keeler, our head coach. Only coach to win 2 national championships at 2 different schools at the FCS level.
Okay.
What we talked about last year, and he said what he may not have necessarily been prepared for is you can get up for a game against Hawaii when you're an FCS school, and you can play Hawaii, and then you can move on to your schedule. And then you've got Nichols and McNeese and SFA and that kind of good stuff. Now you play Rice, and then you turn around a week later, you're playing Hawaii. Then you turn around a week later, you're playing New Mexico State. Then you're playing Texas State. There's no let up there. Every single game is physical, big dudes that are all bigger and faster than you. You don't have a break in the schedule. And so I think that's one of the things that as the season kind of started wearing on, there were no breaks. There were no opportunities to just play a game and be a game that you know going into it, you're probably going to win. Because when we were FCS, I'll be honest, nine or 10 games, we knew going into the season they were W's. As long as we took care of business, we were going to be a 10-win team. And you don't have that now. And so that takes its toll. And that's where the depth really comes into it, because you need 85 guys to play at this level of football. You can't do it with 63 scholarship players week in and week out. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we're seeing from last year to this year, and from our last year of FCS compared to our first year of FBS, is just the amount of talented, big physical dudes that you've got to have to play at this level every single week.
Absolutely, and I don't know if you heard when we were coming on what I'd mentioned with the Mountain West Conference. They're growing, and conference realignment. We're seeing it left and right, up and down. You name it, any direction, we are seeing it. Today, Grand Canyon made it official that they are joining the Mountain West Conference as a basketball program. But there's opportunities. From what I've been told through my good friends at KHON2 has said that Grand Canyon does have other sports that participate at that Mountain West Mountain West Conference may bring in there too. So that's not done growing there. But then also, I don't know if you heard, I was telling Matt that the Mountain West has made the invitation official with Northern Illinois and Toledo, and they may do just football, or they could be football and basketball, or even full-fledged. We don't know yet. It can happen at any time. Obviously, Conference USA is growing, exponentially, and it's exciting to see what's going on. Texas State is, doing phenomenal things. I've heard Tarleton is even possibly moving to the Conference USA. That would be a big move for that conference as well. What is the football life like in the state of Texas? I mean, obviously it's different. Where I'm at, the football is big here in South Carolina, but they're not big physical players. I played football for Roswell High School. It, ironically, is actually on my TV right now. They're playing the number 3 team in the nation, Milton High School. So, Georgia, it's huge, bigger players, bigger advantages, and that kind of thing. But I've heard football in Texas is a different breed all in itself. It's like night and day difference. Can you attest to that?
It is. I mean, it's completely different. It's its own animal. It's Friday night here in Texas right now. So, we're down in Houston. I'm actually down for our bowling team is competing. So I'm down here doing a little content for them this weekend with football being off. But you have to plan your nights based on football, and what's the traffic going to look like around the stadiums, because you're talking, especially down here, we're in Katy right now, and you're talking about games that are going to have 15 to 20,000 people at the games.
Holy moly!
I mean, it's the amount of money that gets poured into these stadiums here is incredible. I mean, we're talking 60, 70, $80 million football stadiums, and a new one goes in the Houston area every other month, it feels like. It's incredible. It's big business. Somebody asked me one time if, it was when Friday Night Lights was popular, and they were asking how true that is. And I was like, it's a fictional show, but they pull a lot of truth into that. When I watched Friday Night Lights, I was like, that happens. That's real. Those things do go on. So yeah, football in Texas is completely different. I mean, at every level. I mean, you can go to a small 6-man game and see how it's played and how the community reacts to it. And then you can go to a 6A game and, watch it at the highest level. And I mean, the state championship week is a 5-day event that draws 400,000 people over the 5 days. They play it up at AT&T.
Holy moly!
It's at Jerry World, and they start on Tuesday with the 6-man games, and they build up to the 6A games on Saturday night. And those 4A, 5A, 6A games typically have 50,000 people at each game.
Matt and I were talking about this. So there is a high school in Georgia, Buford High School, which if you don't know who they are, folks, I promise you want to look them up. Buford High School just opened a $55 million sports complex. And Matt and I were like, that's mind-blowing to sit there and say a sports complex for a high school. No, it gets even better. Their baseball stadium is $26 million. Their softball stadium is $22 million. So now you're talking over $100 million basically for 3 programs, and you still have to include, you have soccer, lacrosse, and you look at the basketball arena, and to hear you just say over $80 million, that is like unprecedented amount of money. And my wife Cassie and I were just talking actually the other day about this. Is I don't know how high school coaches get paid there, but there is, the old Roswell High School football coach, who is now the high school football coach at Buford, gets paid $2.5 million a year just to be the coach. Then he gets his $80,000 a year salary on top of that. My wife said, "How is that even possible?" I'm like, "It's real." She goes, "There's no way they would pay that much money for a high school football coach." And I guarantee you're probably about to say something about it actually is possible. Is that correct, Jason? In that Texas, they probably do more.
The highest paid employees at almost every school district is the head football coach, and that's just how it is. It's the head football coach, and that's where the money comes in. And then probably your superintendent after that. But yeah, your AD and your head football coach are your highest paid employees at almost every single school district in Texas.
Holy moly, that is like wow. I'm both, as you can see, both Matt and I were blown away. Like, holy cow! So let me ask you this. Obviously we're in the midst of a phenomenal season. It's only going to get better. We know it's only going to get better for you guys because you got the new recruit class coming in. I know there's certain points you can't go too into depth with it, but what is a typical year look like with regards to recruiting? Do you have like a certain amount of weeks in the start of the season, during the season, and after the season, or what?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the portal has kind of changed how you recruit. So you've got to be conscious of not only, the guys that you're looking to bring in from the portal, but every year you're having to recruit your own players to stay as well. So that's now part of the process. And we were very fortunate. We lost one starter off of last year's team. They've built a really nice culture here, and they kept everybody. I mean, in Conference USA last year, every single all-conference wide receiver transferred or graduated or went to the draft except for one, and that one was Noah Smith, who stayed at Sam Houston. So he's the only one of the receivers on the all-conference team who's back at the same school. So first and foremost, you got to keep your own players, and that's a big part of it. But they do huge high school camps. So they host, and this is, ID camps happen everywhere, but that's a big part of where our location is. We're an hour and a half or so north of Houston, 2.5 hours south of Dallas. So you're sitting right in the heart of really good football. 3 hours to Austin. I mean, you could pretty much draw a triangle from Austin to Houston to Dallas, and you can probably have access to the best high school football players in the nation right there. And even if they're all going to Texas and Texas A&M and Alabama's coming in and Georgia's coming in and all big schools, there's so much talent here. You've got a chance to pull those guys in, and then the portal. You've got guys who may have left and may have thought that they were going to get a better opportunity if they went to a Toledo or a Northern Illinois, or go to the MAC, go to the Mountain West because it was FBS. Well, now you've got another option. Now that we're FBS, we're given another chance for guys to play closer to home and play FBS football, be a bowl team, and so that's been big for it too. One of the things Coach Keeler talked about when we made the move was he was getting in living rooms that he didn't get in before. And so you're recruiting now a different pool of players as well, which has changed things for them.
I like that. Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to get a shout out to everybody watching. Go ahead, subscribe, and share. Jason, with you guys moving up in class, the type of players that you guys are having to recruit now, do you guys feel like you have to have a different type of pitch, or do you guys feel you have to do more to recruit these particular type of players, or do you guys still keep it even keel and keep it the same as you did last year?
I think the big thing that they look at when they're doing the recruiting is, the guys need to be a fit with the program. We're not a big NIL program. That's such a big part of the recruiting process. The NIL money that is available to the team and to the players typically has been going to retention and keeping players here, and it's something that you earn within the program. So you're not going to see a lot of the quarterbacks that are going out and getting $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 or up to $1 million, whatever money is being paid for quarterbacks. There's not a lot of that for our program. So yeah, you gotta change the approach a little bit in the way you recruit. But I think the thing that sells here is the culture here, the culture of winning, and the long history of winning. And certainly this year is huge, because now you can say, look what we did in 1 year. Look at the turnaround, going from a 3-9 season to sitting right now at 7-2, and going to a bowl game in our very first year of being eligible. There's other teams in the state of Texas that took 10 years to get to their first bowl game. So yeah, you've got that.
Indeed. Now, you mentioned it yourself. You guys are winning more this year than you had in years past. Especially last year. That level of expectation, do you see it kind of staying where you guys are at now, or do you see it rising?
With our fans, they want us to win a national championship. I mean, that's what our expectation has always been. And, I think that was when we made this move. They said, well, you're never going to be able to do that again. And okay, while it's tough, we always enjoyed, we were a program that typically hosted playoff games here, and getting in the playoffs was a big deal. So to be here in year number 1 of FBS, and you guys brought it up at the top, 3% chance to make the college football playoff. Yes, a national championship is beyond anybody's imagination, but just to be in the conversation for the college football playoff here in year 1, I think that's where the expectations are. You can sit here and say, when you map things out, you want to be bowl eligible, you want to win a conference championship, but you don't have to look very far to see what a conference championship team in Conference USA can do, because Liberty just last year was in the Fiesta Bowl. So a team can run the table in Conference USA and be in that picture. And so I think for our fans to see the national attention that's coming from this, the national media that is talking about Sam Houston, and I think that adds to the expectations. But it's something that we've lived with for a long time, because the expectation was always this program was a national championship contender program, and they finally did it in 2021.
There was a reason why you guys made the move from FCS to FBS, and it's not just for lollygagging purposes. Look, folks, if you don't know, it does cost a significant amount to move up, and then you have to go through a lot of rigorous punishments, as what people call it as. Jacksonville State last year is an example. They thankfully they got into a bowl game, but you have to really, if you almost like you're being punished going from lower end, as people call it, to FBS level to higher end. Look, no matter what you put out there, you even just said it. Anybody can play at any given time and win and run the table. Guys, if people don't remember this, Tulane, and there's a reason why Matt and I mentioned Tulane so much, is because they're running the roost now. I mean, look, they are talks about going to the Pac-12. There are talks about going to the ACC even. There has been mentioning some of that stuff. So small schools, yes, they're small, but they can do big things. Matt, you and I just talked about this last episode with regards to James Madison. Remember, James Madison, they're 52-3 at home. That I think it's like since 2020. That's a remarkable record in itself. And you can sit there and people are saying, well, how can we say that Sam Houston State's better? Well, Jason just told you guys right here. The level has always been here. Just because it's taken a year to get there doesn't mean they're not going to get better. Because, I mean, Jason, who's to sit here and say, in 2-3 years, y'all are, 12-0, 13-0, winning the Conference USA, getting the number 1 seed in, the 12. Look,
You ask what the expectation is. I think the expectation is to be a ranked program.
Absolutely. I think you guys are going to get it.
What the expectation is. Top 25, be in the polls.
You guys, I really think y'all are going to continuously move up that ladder. And then, look, big boys are, your big brother. You have the Big 12. You have the Big 10. You have the ACC, the SEC, soon to be the Pac whatevers. We don't know what officially they're going to be called yet. But, you have those going on there, right? Look, little schools, they can hang. I mean, if people don't remember, a couple years ago, Tulane knocked off USC in a New Year's Six bowl game. Liberty, yes, they got beat last year against Oregon, but they went to a New Year's Six bowl. UCF, Central Florida, which you guys played this year, they too had a phenomenal run. I mean, everybody needs to get with the times and realizes that small schools, they're coming. And, big brothers, they can look as much as they want, but who's to say what? When do you know if y'all play Alabama anytime? Do y'all play them in like the next few years?
No, I wouldn't see Alabama on our schedule. But I mean, we just scheduled a home and home with Oregon State. I mean, talk about things that were not attainable that you couldn't do as an FCS program. We got a home and home with Oregon State. The home and home with Hawaii was our first announcement after announcing we were going FBS. We announced the home and home with Hawaii, and that was a big deal. Next year's schedule right now reads UNLV at home, at Hawaii, at Air Force, at Texas, and a November game at Oregon State to go along with our conference schedule. That's brutal. But that's
not an easy schedule right there.
But we're going to probably regularly play a Big 12 team every year. We played Houston and BYU last year, played UCF this year. So Big 12 is probably always going to be on the schedule. SEC will probably be in the mix with Texas A&M being right here. I guess Texas is SEC now. I forget that.
It's so weird to say that too.
I know. So that's not a Big 12 game. That's an SEC game. Yeah, it's just those are the kind of games you have to play, and that's how you continue to find out where you need to build and where you need to grow as a program. You've got to do that by playing those schools. And we went up to BYU last year. That was our first game as an FBS program, was at BYU, and we played with them for 4 quarters. And so you're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. And we knew it was going to take some time, but yeah, I think you could see it last year. And I think for us who were in it, I go to every game. I've traveled with our team. I don't know what I'm at now, 180 something straight football games. I haven't missed a football game since 2010. Yeah, I missed it for a friend of mine's wedding, and I give him a hard time that my streak has outlasted his marriage, but
I was gonna
yeah.
ask.
So
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask, are they still married?
yeah,
Oh
no, they're
man.
not. They're not. But
He's like,
you
I
know,
ruined my streak to this.
yeah. So we've seen for those of us who traveled and saw what could happen. I think we knew that we probably weren't far away, but obviously you're looking at an 0-8 start, a 3-9 in your first year at the FBS level, and there's certainly doubts. But um, you go out and you beat Rice to start off the year, and that was a big eye opener for a lot of people who may not have been expecting that. And it wasn't just beating Rice; thoroughly manhandled them. I mean, it wasn't a close game. I think the score ended up being a little bit closer than the game actually was.
Yeah, you guys won 34-14, but you played like you were up 34-0 almost the entire game.
Just about were. I mean, it was 14-0 5 minutes into the game,
Yeah.
and score a touchdown on the opening drive and then a pick six right after that, and
you asserted
you're
yourself in dominance is what you did, and
yeah,
I'm telling you, folks, Sam Houston State, they're coming, and be ready, and God, like this is the most excited I feel for. And like I said, I'm a small school kind of guy. So I was the producer for Furman Athletics. Furman. Everybody knows who Furman is and what they were able to accomplish last year. This year, obviously, they're having a down year because of transition. You're right. Talent makes a difference on that kind of part, especially the FCS level. And I'm a big fan of North Dakota State. Why? I don't know. I think it's just because they've been so dominant.
I don't feel as fondly about them as you probably do. I've gone up to the Fargo Dome, and we've gotten it handed to us a couple of times up there. So
we actually have an invitation. So we have an invitation to go there. So I can understand.
It's an incredible experience, especially if you're not on the other end of a nice beating that they hand out. And it's typically for us. It was in the semifinals of the playoffs, and you walk outside, it's 8 degrees, and but no, it is a neat experience to be there for a game, just probably more so as a neutral.
Yeah, that I can definitely understand that too, but small schools are where it's at. First off, and Matt, you probably agree with me on this one too, that like small schools, it's something about like it's more family friendly, it's more enjoyable, it's more engaging, more interacting. Also, do you agree with that too as well, Jason? That small schools are where it's more at?
And it's neat, and you can, I can go to games and I could walk around and even when we're on the road and people from other schools, and it's not just your community, but you get to know the other communities, and so I know that's probably something that will come as we continue to grow here in Conference USA. But I think conference movement has probably taken some of that out. We're in our third conference in 4 years right now, 5 years. I mean, we went from the Southland 2 years in the WAC, and now we're in year 2 of Conference USA. So yeah, there's some learning there, but yeah, you've got that community atmosphere in a smaller school, and I think that helps. I think it helps, when you talk about the culture, and it's not just our football program that has that as well, but I mean, our basketball program last year went out and won Conference USA in year 1, and kept a couple of the best players that out of the portal after winning the conference championship in the first year. So I think the community plays a big part into that because they feel like they're part of something more than just their team and their program, but it's a university thing. It's a community thing. And
Matt, he'll tell you he's an ACC guy. His team is Georgia Tech, and my wife, who I'm gonna show you, she's sitting right next to me right there. She's a Clemson girl, so we love ACC around here. But and it's weird when we said it because I know what the WAC was. I know what the WAC used to be. Now it's Mountain West Hawaii, and I haven't had the privilege yet to go to a Clemson game. I've been to a Georgia Tech game. That's a lot of fun. But if you put apples to apples, like with ACC in Mountain West Conference or ACC in Conference USA or whomever, I feel it's always the smaller conferences. I feel that they're more entertaining. and they reign supreme. Yes, you have rich traditions at every school, and I know 100% it's every school, but it's just something about smaller schools that bring it home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and these midweek games too have been big for us to kind of help tell our story. Being, it is weird playing on a Tuesday night. It is. I'm still not used to it. I don't know what day of the week it is half the time. It was funny when you first reached out to me and I was trying to figure out my schedule. I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to be on a Friday. My first.
Yeah, you had mentioned you're like,
Yeah, my first response was like, well, Tuesday will be great for me because normally Tuesdays are fine. I'm like, no, we've got a football game on Tuesday, but it gets us on national TV, and we're playing on ESPN2 and ESPNU and CBS Sports Network, and a game doesn't go by that I don't get a text message from a friend of mine that I may not have talked to for 10 years that have said, hey, I just saw you on TV. I'm watching the game right now. This is awesome seeing Sam Houston on. And, so you see the chatter on Twitter, and, there's people talking about Sam Houston that have never talked about Sam Houston before. And it gives them an opportunity to see our community, our program, and have a chance for us to tell our story. And so that's been big.
And, and the way you guys are going out and getting these wins, they're full team effort wins. And I absolutely love team ball. That is, it's okay to have those superstars once in a while, and I'm very indifferent against the whole Colorado situation. Look, Prime played for my home team, Matt's home team as well, the Atlanta Falcons. We loved him when he played for the Falcons. He's a great attention getter, is how I see it. Dan Lanning said it perfectly last year. They're playing for clicks and we're playing for wins, and that is totally true. And I love how you guys, you're playing as a team. You have great camaraderie, great chemistry, everything. Now you guys do have 3 tough games left, obviously. And the reason, like I told you, I'm not taking Kennesaw State for light for anything, because Kennesaw State, they do know how they play nitty gritty with it. They really hang tough, and they got their first win a couple weeks ago against Liberty. So you guys have to play you guys are traveling to Kennesaw and playing at Kennesaw State, and then you guys are traveling to play Jacksonville State, and then you finish up hosting Liberty. So you do have, theoretically, you have the 2 of the last 3 games are the 2 toughest that could be that could decide you guys getting into the Conference USA Championship. Now with the whole 12 team is if you get into the Conference Championship, you have a chance to be a part of it. But if you win it, if you're higher seeded, you win. If you win your conference, you're in no matter what. You're guaranteed a spot in there because you do have but then you have those at larges. And Jason, I'm gonna tell you now, I think you need to go ahead and pack your bags and get ready because you're going to the 12 team, man. I feel it. I mean, if you guys were to finish 9-3 and you go to the conference championship game, y'all are playing. You might be playing Western Kentucky or Jacksonville State, heck, even Liberty. That could be another victory in your pocket. You're looking at 10-3. I really think you guys need to be prepared to go to that 12. I feel you. I really feel 3% is not fair enough. I think more like 45 to 50% chance y'all are going to that 12 team, sir. So I hope you're ready for that.
That would be, it's probably beyond our wildest imagination. So let's just keep it there for now and not try to get too ahead of ourselves. But kind of going back to the expectation, I think it's realistic to think that this is the type of program that can build to where that is the goal at the end of the year, is to be in the 12-team playoff.
And I know obviously we don't know the answer right now, but do you think you might ever get a chance to get invited to Big Brother and go to the Big 12 or the Big 10?
It's so I never thought that Conference USA was on the table. So I think it was about a year ago when the whole Pac-12 stuff started going on, and everybody kind of started moving around the Pac-12, and we had just we were still getting our feet wet in Conference USA, and there was an article written about where does the Pac-12 go from here, and Sam Houston was mentioned in it, and I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to our AD, and I said, so are we talking Pac-12 now? And he calls me and he goes, "Where did you see that?" I'm like, "It's like a national writer." And it just said, Pac-12 would like to get into Texas, and Sam Houston's a program that could be a fit. And so that's just, it's wild to think that we're even in that conversation. Even, that unironically, people are mentioning Sam Houston for, what was a Power 5 conference, but, so at this point with conference movement, I don't think you can put anything past anything at this point. You don't know what's going to happen to the Big 12. You don't know we may end up with 2 massive 40-team conferences, and who knows?
It's possible.
I don't know that you can discount anything anymore at this point.
Absolutely, you really can't. I have a friend of mine. His name is Rob. He said he believes in the next 3 years we're going to have 3 conferences. It's the SEC, the Big Ten, and the EEOC one, the everyone else conference. And everybody else is going to be on there. And watch out, we're going to have super mega conferences come about soon. And we don't know. But hey, I'm going to tell you now, I'm excited for Bearcat football. And Matt's excited too, because we talk quite a bit about sports, and there's a reason why we're called the Sportz Nutz. We talk literally 24/7. This woman right here actually will tell you she gets sick and tired of me talking sports to her. So it's a great thing, and Jason, I'm excited for you guys. And when you guys finish up your season, I have a strong suspicion I'm gonna get a message from you that says, we're going to the 12. And I guarantee you, I'm probably going to be the first one. I'm telling you all, folks down in Houston, I will be the first one to be as loud as humanly possible, screaming and cheering you on. Jason, I've had
if we end up in Bahamas, I'll jump on with you guys. I'll take my laptop out to the beach, and I will sit out on the beach in the Bahamas, and I'll jump on with you guys, and we'll do a little follow-up from Bahamas.
Hey, I am totally down for it, man. Oh, Jason, we have had an absolute best. I need to let you know this before I let you go. So I can see where all of our viewers come from, and like locations and that kind of stuff. And Jason, with you coming on, we're at 107 views to all of our platforms, and I want to say this has been the absolute best interview on a Friday night we have had in a long time, and I've had a blast. Matt's had a blast. We're cheering you guys on. And if you guys go to 12, be prepared for a South Carolina boy to have as much orange gear, not Clemson orange, but Sam Houston State orange, and an Atlanta boy also be wearing the Sam Houston orange. Sound good?
Yeah, I like it. Hey, Matt, real quick, I'm going to be in Kennesaw. What do I need to do? Anywhere I need to go eat on a Friday night? Anywhere I need to go drink on a Friday night? Any good breweries? What do I need to do while I'm in Kennesaw?
Hop on 400 and go to Atlanta. No, Kennesaw is great. Kennesaw has some great low key.
It's a college town, though.
Yeah, they have some great low key places where you can eat. Some great privately owned businesses where you can actually eat, and they have really great food there. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy the city.
We may be staying in Atlanta and then busing up to Kennesaw. I don't know what our travel plan is.
Great idea.
Like a 40-minute drive to get to Kennesaw from Atlanta.
Because when we go to Jack State, we're gonna stay in Birmingham, so that's it's an hour and 15 minutes out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're staying somewhere in Atlanta, or maybe north side of Atlanta, get over by the Battery possibly. And
you're gonna have fun going there, man. Oh, I'm telling you,
I'm a Braves fan. So
okay, yeah, the Battery.
1989, I became a fan of the Atlanta Braves thanks to my sister Jessica. Matt, when did you become?
1990 for me.
Oh, yeah, so you're right around it. Matt, what about you?
Changed the uniforms. Dave Justice was a rookie, and I got TBS.
Yep, and it was on channel 3, I believe. You had a little box on top. You had to turn the channel to TBS to watch it in every game. We just, folks, I hate to say it, we just aged ourselves. Yeah. But hey,
my family got cable in '88. And so I all of a sudden got WGN and TBS, so I had the Cubs and the Braves on as well. And as soon as I was able to grow out of the Astros and choose for myself. I chose the Atlanta Braves for better or worse. I don't know if that was the right decision or not.
Hey, good decision.
October,
we've seen a lot in
October
Atlanta.
certainly has not been a kind month for me, but got the one this past year. So
you got a couple of rings. Got a couple of rings out of it.
Got a couple. 95 and 2021.
21. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all going to get better because you know what, though? Come at the end of this year, Jason, you're going to get not one, but you're going to get two. I think you're going to get 2 rings, to be honest. One's going to say CUSA champions, and the other one is going to say you're going to get your first ever W in the 12 team. I have a feeling you guys are only going to get better. So
winning a game in the 12.
That's right. Hey, I told you I'm banking.
We've escalated things here. You're really heaping the expectations on.
I feel it, man. I feel it, and Matt will tell you I'm a big believer in small ball. I'm a big believer in small schools. I live, breathe, and die small schools. And we have a good friend of ours. Her name is Maddie. She covers Tulane University. I talk with her regularly, and I tell her, "Hey, I got to see you guys on. What's it like being at Denton, Texas, to go play North Texas?" And I'm excited. So. Expect more messages from me cheering you on. Sound good, sir?
I like it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, if you could quickly tell people where they can find Sam Houston's social media so people can follow, because I'm sure we can get as many humanly possible to follow you guys.
All right. So most of our accounts are at Bearcat Sports. And it's Bearcats with a K. Make sure you get the K in there. At Bearcat Sports, that's our Twitter, our Instagram, and then our broadcasting Twitter is at Bearcat Vid, and so that's going to be all of our Bearcat Sports Network stuff. So all of our podcasts that we do, we're up to. We do 2 podcasts. We do a live weekly radio show that I host. Our students have a weekly studio show called The Growl. So all of that is at Bearcat Vid. So you get all of our content there. And then at Bearcat Sports is our main accounts for Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great show. We had Mr. Jason Barfield, Director of Sports Media at Sam Houston State. Jason, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Go enjoy your weekend. And
bowling. Yeah,
go have fun.
I'm going to head out to the lanes. Our bowling program is a national championship program as well.
Really?
They won a national championship. Yeah, beat Nebraska in 2014 for the national championship. So our bowling program is typically top 5 in the country year in and year out. So was in the final 4 last year. And so yeah, it's good. I get a chance to get down and cover them a little bit, and I travel with our bowling program a lot. I've been to every NCAA championship with them as well. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman right here is the Sportz Nutz of all Sam Houston, and we cannot be more pleased to have him.
I've seen a lot of it. Yeah, we did during COVID. We did a top 25 moments in Sam Houston history countdown, and I think I had been at 23 of the 25 games.
Oh my God, you really are a sportsman. That's awesome. Oh, so cool. Well, hey, the first beer, go get it. Go have a cold one, and enjoy watching some quality sports, man. We thank you so much for coming on our show.
I appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it, Jason.
All right, guys, that was such a great. Oh, that was so much fun, Matt. I'm like, dude, he literally is the Sportz Nutz of Sam Houston. That's so cool,
Yeah, man. A lot of great information from him, man. A lot of great knowledge from him. Much respect to Sam Houston State, man. I'm want to see him go and be great, go into big things. So
that's right. Look, Matt, they do have a game coming up on the 16th. Little bit of a visit at Kennesaw. Maybe you can make something out there and go and do some live tweeting from the game, and
I might have to check it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we have got to get some stories off of our shoulders. Obviously, one story in particular and look, I don't really care for both teams. I really don't. But Matt, how about the only reason why I watched the World Series was Freddie Freeman. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman.
He is still not. They need to go ahead and say, you know what, Freddie, here's the ring.
There you go.
The all-time greatness for an Atlanta Brave. Retire the number 5 right now. I'm calling it. Alex Anthopoulos, retired number 5. Put Freddie Freeman statues outside of Truist Park right now. He's a legend.
Gee, if only we would have thought that and kept him. You know.
But you know what? I'm not I'm not discrediting Matt Olson. He's done great things, but he took a real big slump this year compared to last year.
Yeah.
But then again, also though, Matt, let's look at it this way though. God, I keep looking at this Boise game, and I've known Boise for a long time, and the turf is so. It hurts my
Is that the
eyes.
blue field? That's the blue field, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It hurts my eyes.
I can only watch that
it.
like 2-3 minutes, and I have to turn to something else. So,
But you know what though, I'm proud of Freddie. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear the latest Vegas odds where Juan Soto was going to land?
no, let me guess. Atlanta.
That's the third highest odds is for him to land in Atlanta.
Man,
I'd be okay with that.
everybody would be okay with that, man.
I would absolutely. But we only have 3 days left now until Max Fried can go talk to whomever he wants. And look, Alex, I don't care what it takes. Matt and I are going to here's what we'll do right now, Alex Anthopoulos. Here's my wallet. Matt's got his wallet. We'll chip in. Sign Fried. Keep him in Atlanta. We need that arm. We don't need another Charlie Morton. Look, I just saw the report today. Charlie Morton most likely is not going to retire. And the question was asked, should Atlanta sign him? And Matt, your answer, I guarantee I know the answer, but why don't you tell everybody what the answer should be?
Absolutely.
What? Sign Charlie Morton?
Not.
I was about to say,
Absolutely
Matt,
not.
I was about to say I'm disowning you right now. If you said this
Absolutely not, man. I think your money would be better served elsewhere, man. To help the team in the areas of need. But no, I wouldn't. I don't think they should. I think they should just go ahead and move on.
Absolutely, guys. We're not discrediting Morton. He's had a fantastic career. He absolutely has. But it is time. It's time to go. Let it go. It's okay. You've accomplished a heck of a lot in your outstanding career. Obviously, this year didn't live up to the expectations that you had hoped. But then again, no one really had great expectations this season for Atlanta when you lose 12 significant players throughout the entire season. It's obviously hard for everybody to overcome that one. So
that's wild, man. All those injuries.
It's like, and the fact here's the crazy thing too, Matt. They got into the postseason.
Yeah, it's so Atlanta though, man. It's just so Atlanta. But they did get into the postseason, so much credit to the guys that stepped up, man, and stepped up and were able to maintain the bats, man, and the pitching and everything else. Just kudos for those guys for getting into the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited to see what takes place, what transpires, next season. I hope that it's called the Revenge Tour, and Atlanta opens up a can of against everybody, wins the NL East by August 1st, having like a 20-plus game lead, and they ride that horse all the way to November, and they hoist that trophy. I hope it happens.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. So let's switch gears a little bit here. Obviously, folks, I don't know if you saw this. Matt, I did mention to you this, but this is, and I mentioned to our other friend, Matt, as well, that we're seeing a mass exodus in the form of coaches in the WNBA. Guys, this is an actual number that has been produced. 7 of the WNBA teams out there up until today were coachless. Put that in perspective. That's a touchdown in a PAT's worth of teams, and I think there's only like 14 teams currently in the WNBA. So you're talking literally half the WNBA had no coaches up until today. The Kinetic Suns, they fired their head coach, who did lead them to significant records. She actually is a former player of the Indiana Fever. She is now coaching the Indiana Fever there. So there's 6 spots available. Matt, from what I heard you were putting your name into the Atlanta Dream to be the coach, right?
That will be a negative, Brandon. That will be a negative. No, man. I mean, I think these teams are just looking for the new age coach, man. No more of the, you're gonna run all day, sideline to sideline. You know how it is, man. Sideline to sideline, sideline to sideline, or line. In basketball, you do
suicides.
Yeah,
up and down as much you can.
Yeah. That was terrible. That was tough. I think now they're just, now everything is more social media based, man. Everything's softer. And they want these new age coaches, man, that can resonate with the players a lot more. We're in I call it the TikTok era. That's just what we're in right now, and you just have to respect that. So, the league is growing. The popularity of it is growing. The revenue shares, everything about the WNBA is growing. Now I think we're about to see the quote unquote JJ Redick type coaches come in, and start leading these teams to victory.
And folks, don't be alarmed if there is no WNBA season next year, because there is a real possibility. And we're not saying it because nobody wants to watch. No, they opted out of their CBA collective bargaining agreement, because they want more revenue. Obviously now, everybody, Matt will tell you this. I've told you guys as well that they were in the red for a very long time. The WNBA was not making a profit. This is the first time, I believe, actually in the history of the WNBA, they're going to start the season in the black zone. And guys, the black zone is where you want to be. There's a reason why they call it Black Friday. You want to be in that zone, and they're going to get more money there. They're going to generate more. And Matt just told you the interest level is really growing. You got Golden State, which is San Francisco. San Francisco starts their team next year, the Golden State Valkyries. The next year after that, Toronto starts their team. The year after that, you're still talking about the possibility of Philadelphia. You're talking about Miami. You're talking about Tampa. I mean, the list is growing for WNBA teams. So be prepared for the possibility of an unfortunate lockout. It's a real possibility in sports these days. All right, so Matt, you had a viral short come out a little bit ago.
Oh man!
And where you said Ronnie James
I knew we were
has the possibility of being an Eric Bledsoe type player.
Thank you. Type.
But guys, I want to break the news to you right now. According to almost all of the city of Cleveland, which I got to ask you why, and then also a majority of all the sports people in the world, Bronny James has just won Rookie of the Year. He's going to win the National Player of the Year, whatever you name it, because he gets his one basket.
Hold on now.
Garbage time.
Let's do it justice. ESPN front page. Twitter shut down. Twitter or X or Twitch, whatever you want to call it, shut down. Social media just everybody on social media running amok. Everything the world stood still, man. The heavens stood still. The ocean stood still because Bronny James scored his first basket.
Guys, excuse my language, and I'm going to use the dump button on this one. This is a bleep show. That's all it is.
Man,
it's a bleep show. Bronny James, if you think Bronny James is a high NBA caliber player, then I'm going to tell you my dog Stella is going to be the next Barry Sanders and have 5,000 yards rushing, 25,000 yards receiving, and she's going to have 175 touchdowns. Because Bronny James is not. He is terrible.
I said it before and I say it again. I'm not going to say he's terrible. He has the tools. Teams now, man, they draft on potential now, man. I mean,
he has no potential, though.
You can't say that. I've watched him play. I think he does have some kind of potential to be a solid role player on the team. You know, I'm not saying he's going to. It might not be next year or the year after next. For example, let's look at who's somebody that went to G League and then is actually having good. I mean, you have many instances. You have Gary Payton II that happened to him. You have players that, you know, just need to be in that team setting. They need to have their confidence grow, and then they can be serviceable players. He will be a serviceable player, man. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He knows how to play the game. He's a very cerebral player. I think he'll be fine. If his name was Rondell Walker, you know, one, nobody will be talking about him. But two, you probably will be saying, "Oh yeah, he's solid." But just because he's LeBron James Jr., you know,
it's terrible.
It's a problem.
I thought this stupid meme, and I think I sent it to you, Matt.
Which one?
Let me see if hold on. I'm gonna see. I think I screenshotted this picture, guys, and I really think I did. I'm just gonna look. No, I did not. Darn. Someone said Bronny James is outdoing Joel Embiid, Paul George. And there was somebody else, and I go, "Oh yeah, they're doing good because those three haven't played.
Yeah,
of course he's gonna outdo them."
It was a joke. It was a joke to bash kind of Bronny. Kind of, you know, he has 2 points, and they say he has more points than these three players who aren't even playing. I guess. I mean, you know, it's one of those things, one of those memes. It was pretty funny at first. You know, you move on. Move on. He's gonna be a solid player, man.
No, he's not.
He's gonna be a solid player. I'm telling you.
Oh boy.
Mark my words. When we're on episode,
let's timestamp it.
When we're on episode 357, you know, we're episode 357. And it's about 4 years from now, you know, and he's tearing it up, averaging a whole whopping 8, 9, 10 points a game. I'm gonna be like, hey,
he's tearing it up, 8, 9 points a game.
He's a serviceable player. He's a serviceable player.
In 10 years, he is gonna look back and say, "God, I had the best career year when I scored average 2 points a game." Oh my God, I'm hoping to get first ballot Hall of Fame there.
Look at Lou Williams, man. Lou Williams, you know, who I actually went to high school with. I was a senior, he was a sophomore, but Lou Williams, he went straight into the draft, and had to go to the D League. Only averaged 1.7 points per game. No, he averaged 0.7 points per game his rookie year. And then he ended up turning into probably the best sixth man of all time. So I mean, hey man, you know, you never know. You never know. These things, sports is fickle, man. You never know. You never know. So let's just sit back and enjoy the ride, man. I think he's going to be a serviceable player. Oh man, I got to put my parlays in for the day, man. Dang.
Well, and the fact that you know, first off, Bronny James, didn't he cost you some money?
He did. He did, man. He did, man. You know, if you're gonna, you know, bet sports, use the Sleeper app. You know, go to your app store, get the Sleeper app, and you can do over and unders. This is pub. You know, I need to send this to Sleeper so we can sponsor us. I had Bronny. You pick.
That was nice little advertisement right there.
Exactly. Sleeper, make it happen. Bronny, man, you pick 8 things, and I had hit on all 7. I spent $10, and I was going to make $800. It was around that. Spend 10, make 800. I had a bunch of like double crazy times things. All I needed was Bronny James to score 1 point. That's all I needed. I just needed
1 point, folks.
I just needed 1 point. And I only lost $10, whatever, man. But I could have won $800. I just needed him to score 1 point, man. So LeBron gave him a pass. He was wide open on the 3. I was like, here it is. I'm like, oh, man. And then they took him, JJ Redick took him out the game. He never came back. I was sick, man. I'm like, come on, man. 1 point. Just 1 point.
You could have hit a free throw. Come on, man.
1 point, man. I just needed 1 point, and I would have had $800 extra in my pocket. Oh. But he didn't do it, man.
You know what I gotta say about that, though, Matt?
I got flagged.
Shoulda. Well, yes, you got flagged, boy. You know what? There's the flag. Your 15-yard penalty right there. Now, right?
I should have bet that he would have scored under 1 point. I should have bet the under. That's what I should have did. But
Lord knows how much you would have banked then, right?
Hey, man. But you know, it is what it is.
That's right. It is what it is. All right. Let's do our favorite topic of the Friday show, let's just go over some, college odds by ESPN Bet and, what we think will happen. Obviously, there's 3 games going on tonight. One is the most obnoxious turf you'll ever see in the day of the life of football. Look, Eastern Washington has a red. There's some school in Pennsylvania that has an orange field. There's some high school that has a black turf field. I'm just looking for like a rainbow turf eventually to happen because, let's just have like the bright neon colors doing the rainbow flags because, God, that would hurt my eyes. Look, I'm not criticizing. No, I'm not criticizing anybody for that except for the creators. I understand why Boise fit into it because it's kind of like it's a home field advantage because if you wear all blue and you're playing on a blue turf, in theory you can't really see the players. Yada yada yada. Whatever. I don't care. It's so stupid. It's nasty. All right. We have Georgia State. They're playing UConn. South Florida is playing at Florida Atlantic, and of course, the aforementioned Boise State is playing host to San Diego State tonight. Matt, let's start with the first one. Georgia State, they've had a really bad year. Really bad year. They're 2-5.
Feel sorry for my guys.
Obviously, UConn, and I didn't know this. UConn is 5-3. They need to win one more game, and they're in the bowl. They're bowl eligible. That's hard to believe because the fact UConn's been really bad the last few years. UConn is up 13-10 at halftime. Does Georgia State have a second half, be the second half kid and win, or does UConn get bowl eligibility tonight?
You know what, man? I think Georgia State is going to come back. They stayed in the game. They scored. They matched the 10-point score by UConn in the first quarter. They matched that in the second quarter, so they're staying with UConn. It just depends, man, who comes out and executes on the first drive. Is the defense going to execute, or is the offense going to execute for the teams? Who's going to execute? That's who's going to. Whoever wins third quarter is going to win the game.
Absolutely. And then the next game, Tampa playing. God, I don't even know where Florida. I know obviously it's Florida, I guess. I'm not dumb yet, but Tampa, South Florida is traveling to. I'm thinking it's Miami is where I'm thinking Florida Atlantic is.
Florida Atlantic,
and they're FAU. Where is FAU? I'm gonna actually. But this is bad radio when you look up where they're at.
Didn't they have that run in basketball a few years ago?
They did. They had a good run a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, not a few, like 8-9 years.
They play. Where did they play? The field is called Dowdy Ficklen Stadium.
Bro,
I don't know. Folks in the stream, let us know where Florida Atlantic plays. But anyway, Florida Atlantic is 2-5. They got blown out by UTSA 38-24 last game, and then the game before that they lost in a shootout with North Texas 41-37. South Florida, they're known to hang with everybody, and so I'm thinking South Florida wins. What do you think?
I have to agree with you there. I think South Florida wins. They take this one, and they start pulling away.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the last game of Friday Night Lights, as they call it. I can already tell you Boise is going to probably win this game. They're up 13-0 against San Diego State. Look, San Diego State, they're not the team they used to be. San Diego State was always a run first, run second, run third, maybe pass kind of team. But they backed up their talk with the run because they could run. Boise State, though, their offense is solely on one player right now, and Genty. And I really think Boise is going to blow it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Boise is going to blow it out now as well. But San Diego State is containing Genty. I think right now he's 7 carries for 28 yards. But I think Boise State, they're having a great passing game right now. I think the quarterback is having a good game so far. So, but Boise State, I think they're up 14-0 right now or something like that. So I think they'll pull it off and get this victory.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen. For those who don't know, we are Roswell High School fans here. They are up 13-7 against the third nationally ranked Milton Eagles. However, Milton is driving, so we might see them score. I don't know, but we'll keep you updated on that one. All right, so we're not going to go over the Tuesday and the Halloweens and not because we talked about it. Although I will say this, Tulane is 7-2. they're going to run away with the American, and I think we're going to see big things happen. So let's go on to Saturday. By the way, let's give a quick shout out to my second youngest daughter, Holden. Today is her birthday, ladies and gentlemen. She is 4, the big 4. My baby girl is 4. I am beyond excited
Happy
for her.
birthday, Holden.
Yes, and Daddy's having a hard time with you being 4 because I just remember yesterday you coming home. You were born at 12/17, November 1st, 2020, in the morning. My baby girl. So, Holden, happy birthday, baby. I love you. Mommy and Daddy are so proud of you. Tomorrow, we will have Holden's birthday celebration. She is going to have a special meal and have friends over or family over to celebrate her birthday with us. So I just want to give a quick shout out to her. All right, Matt, let's go. Let's start talking about the November 2nd games. There's a very, very big game. We've already heard one of our friends. He said he was going to go with Penn State on this move. Number 3, Penn State, Happy Valley, playing host to number 4, Ohio State. It's going to be a tough game, yes, but what do you think, Matt? And if you want to get a ticket, I'm telling you now, they're the low price, $284. Is what I've
crazy.
seen.
That's crazy. I think this is going to be like that Georgia-Texas game a couple weeks ago. I think one team is just going to come out and just blow out the other team, man. I don't know who, because I think these teams are very evenly matched. I like Ohio State's receiving core a little bit better with the younger kids. I like their receiving core a little bit better. But Penn State is a tough team. What's Penn State, 7-0 right now? And
Penn State is 7-0 and Ohio 6-1.
And Ohio State lost to Oregon, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's nothing. I mean, that's nothing to laugh at. Oregon's a great team right now with Dylan Gabriel doing his thing. But I'm going to have to go with the home team here. And the only reason I think these teams are so evenly matched that I'm going to go with the team that has the home field advantage. If they were playing Ohio State, I would go with Ohio State. But I'm going to rock with Penn State here.
I like it. I actually like that call. I think Penn State wins too.
I'll say score. I say Penn State wins 34-21.
27-24 is what I'm saying. It's going to be a good game regardless.
Yeah.
It is a big noon game for Fox. Check it out, y'all. You're going to enjoy it. All right. Now, this has kind of been a toss-up for me. I understand one team is as the heavy favorites, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a really good game regardless. Duke is traveling down to Miami. They're playing at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami, number 5, 8-0 in the ACC. Duke is 6-2. I think Duke's going to give Miami a fit. I do think Miami is going to win, though, but I think it's going to be like a 34-28 kind of game.
Well, Duke has a big right since Georgia Tech came through and crushed the building, getting their first loss of the season. So I'm definitely going to have to go with Miami here. I think Miami is going to continue to win. Their quarterback Cam Ward has been phenomenal this year, man, playing himself into Heisman consideration. So I'm going to go on Miami. I think Miami is going to come through. They're going to hit him hard. They're going to hit him early. Miami is going to win the game. I say 38-14.
Okay, I like it. All right, now the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because it is undefeated, nationally ranked Army. They're 7-0. They're playing host. Yes, they're playing host to Air Force. They're 1-6. But guys, if you don't know this, all military academies, when they play each other, it's like a national championship kind of environment.
Yes.
I think Army. Now, I do think Army wins. I think they're going to be 8-0 at the end of this game. I think it's going to be like a 38-31 kind of game, though. What do you think?
I still can't believe Army's ranked, man. That's crazy when you think about all the years of Army versus Navy, Army versus Air Force, and now one of them actually ranked in the top 25. That's crazy. But I'm gonna go with Army here as well, man. I mean, Air Force is just not having a good year. Their offense just can't keep up with the other
Big boy,
teams
really.
like Navy, like Army, they're just not keeping up, man. But I'm gonna go with Army here. I think Army wins 40. I would say give me 41 to give me 40. Give me 40-21.
Okay. Wow, you got close on that one. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's switch a little bit to a different conference. Virginia Tech. We don't know what kind of season they're going to finish up with. But then we're talking about Syracuse, who Syracuse folks, I think they kind of said they're done giving it all they can give, and now they're just going to hopefully skate by and get one more win to be bowl eligible. Virginia Tech plays at Syracuse. I think Virginia Tech actually wins. Virginia Tech had a really rough start to the year. They've really turned it around. I think Virginia Tech wins. I'm gonna say 42-20. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I was surprised at Virginia Tech after they I was just watching the last couple of their games. But I think Syracuse is going to hold on and win this one. Syracuse is only 5-2. There's no reason for them to give up. Even though they're 2-2 in the ACC, they can still, if they run the tables, they can still do a little bit of damage, man. But then again, their quarterback just threw like 5 picks, man. So
yeah,
it really just depends on how his morale is. And, it just depends on what's going on between his ears. But I'll take Syracuse on this one. Syracuse 24-21.
All right. So the Cinderella of the entire college football, I don't care what you people think, it's really Vanderbilt. They're playing another Alabama team. They're playing at Auburn. Auburn, as you guys know, they've had a tumultuous run of their season, but Vanderbilt, and folks, it is an even year. Remember, even years, Vanderbilt does good. Odd years, Vanderbilt does bad. So I think Vanderbilt actually wins. They are bowl eligible after this game against Auburn. I think Vanderbilt actually wins like 40-35. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. Vanderbilt's showing that they're for real this season, especially after the win in Alabama. I think Vanderbilt wins this one. Give me 34-31.
Okay, I like it. All right, let's travel to the Sun Belt Conference real quick here. Old Dominion, they travel to App State. Look, App State just got their first win of the year in Sun Belt Conference play last week. They're really not doing good. ODU, they're on the up and up. They are playing in Boone, which is a beautiful place to be, but I think ODU actually, they're only fair about there. I think ODU wins like, I'm going to say 35-21.
I agree with you. I'm going to go with ODU here. I think ODU is just going to be too much for App State. Like you said, App State just got their first Sun Belt Conference win, which is good for them. And hopefully they can contain or sustain that momentum. But I'm going to go with ODU here. ODU 28-21.
Okay. Let's talk about Trent Dilfer for a second. Is this his last game that he ever coaches at UAB against Tulsa this week or no?
Absolutely. They're 1-6, man. They haven't won a conference game. He was supposed to come in. How many seasons has he been there already?
I think this is his third.
Yeah, man. It's about that time. There's been no improvement. Yeah. He's not getting good.
He's actually gotten worse.
Yeah, man. He's not getting good recruiting classes. Right now he's just surviving on name alone. So, which they might keep him because of name alone. But I think I'm actually going to go with Tulsa on that one. I think Tulsa's going to.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
I think Tulsa, I wouldn't be surprised to see like a 48-0 kind of game against Tulsa. Look, Tulsa, the Golden Hurricanes, they give you glimpses of what they could be, and then they really just show what they are quite a bit. I think I would say probably in the last 5 years, I can say with absolute certainty, I can see when Tulsa is going to play good and when they're going to play bad against a team. This game, I think they're going to play good. They're going to show you what possibly could be. I think they're going to open up a can on UAB. I think this is Trent Dilfer's last game as a coach. Unfortunately, look, Trent, nothing against you, but UAB was not your style, and I think Tulsa wins. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
I was shocked he took that job, to be honest with you.
I was too. He needed to do what Prime did, start in FCS or NAIA or D2 or D3, something like that, to build your name up. You can't go into it expecting to be, a millionaire right away. You have to work your way up into it. I think that he was kind of thinking, I'm going to take this. We're going to go 12-0 every year. We're going to be a part of the playoff system. We're going to win everything. And it's just not worked out, unfortunately. So we'll see, All right. So this game is for you, Vince. I know you're watching. Number 1, Oregon. They're traveling up to Ann Arbor. Vince, if you are going to the game, please let me know on the stream that you're going to the game. It's going to be a hell of a game to go to. Dylan Gabriel, he is Heisman finalist. I think honestly, I think Oregon wins. Oregon has shown that they, people are saying Oregon was going to struggle this year because they're going from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and that has been far from it. The question everybody wants to ask is, will the real Big Ten conference stand up, please? Because Oregon, former Pac-12 teams, they're dominating the Big Ten. I think Oregon wins, handing out. I'd say like 38 to 10. What do you think, Matt?
I think Oregon comes out, and this is a trap game for them, man. This is honestly kind of a trap game. Michigan could, so jump off on a surprise, man. Kind of like how Vandy did Alabama. They surprised them with a pick six. They surprised them, and come out the gate swinging. But that's like a 0.1% chance that happens. I'm gonna go with Oregon here. Oregon over Michigan. I think Oregon comes out, do what they need to do. Dylan Gabriel plays a safe game, not try to do too much. I think they win. Give me 40-14.
Folks, obviously we're not discrediting Michigan. Michigan's good, but Matt, did you hear Michigan's quarterback just retired? Actually, he had too many head injuries.
Oh, okay.
And he just retired actually from too many head injuries, which is the second player this season to retire from too many head injuries. Grayson McCall at NC State just retired, so that's kind of why I'm saying I'm leaning towards Oregon really putting the can on them. I mean, just because you don't really know anything about the third string quarterback. He has been propelled into the first string. You don't know what is really going to happen, so we'll see. Who knows? All right, man, I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to be honest. When is the last time you can remember this? Obviously, Florida State, they're 1-7. They're playing host to North Carolina. When was the last time you remember seeing Florida State beat 1-8?
I don't think I've ever seen it, to be honest with you, man.
I don't either.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of any time.
I mean, you go back and you think of the players that they had on their teams, man. You go back.
Deion Sanders.
You go back, you think of Charlie Ward.
Who was the running back we had that Atlanta had?
Dalvin Cook. Who was the running back?
Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman.
God.
Jameis Winston. You got
who's the famous one who played for Atlanta? He played for the Bucs that finished his career in Atlanta.
Who?
What is his name? It's the running back. It's slipping my tongue. Warwick Dunn. He had Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn. I mean, do you think about the players, the caliber of player that's come out of that program, and for them to just be embarrassingly bad? They're not just bad. They're embarrassingly bad, man.
Embarrassingly bad, yeah.
They got to clean house, man. Coach, they can you put your own players in the transfer portal if you don't want them anymore? I'm asking for a friend. That was a Florida State fan. Can you do that, please? I think they need to clean house and just start over, man. Ukulele's gone, gonna be gone. They just need to start
ukulele.
Ukulele, Lulu. It does.
Ukulele.
Can't win a game with them, and so they're not gonna win without them either. So, it's just unfortunate for that particular historic program, and they deserve better than what they're getting right now. The fans do. The fan base deserves way better than what they're getting. But I will say what I've been saying all year. Blame Georgia Tech, because that first week 0, it came out, Georgia Tech came out and then just stomped, but they beat them, and that caused a spiral effect. So blame Tech, blame the Yellow Jackets.
Louisiana Monroe, excuse me. They're traveling to Huntington and West Virginia, playing Marshall. Look, guys, Marshall, they've really come back. I'm proud of what they have accomplished. But I think Monroe actually wins, and I'm saying 34-31. What do you think?
I think Monroe wins as well, man. Marshall, they were able to bounce back, but 2-1 in conference play. I'm gonna go with Monroe here. Give me, 28-17.
Okay, Navy traveling to Houston. They're playing Rice, and we just heard our good friend Jason Barfield say Rice is a surprise. They're not a cakewalk. They've never been a cakewalk. But I think Navy goes. Look, I'm really believing it could be honestly a 12-0 Army facing an 11-1 Navy at the Army Navy. And what do you think?
I'm going to agree with you on that front, where Army versus Navy. But I'm also going to go with Navy, kind of putting the hurting on Rice. I have to go with Navy here by a landslide.
Whoa. Look, I have to mention this one because I just want to see. The tickets are only $1. Mississippi State. My cousins, they are Mississippi State alumni. 1-7 Mississippi. I don't remember that with them being that bad this long, but they're playing against 2-6 UMass. Matt, who do you think? Look, Mississippi State is favored, but who wins this? Could it really be a UMass upset over Mississippi State?
I don't know if either team won if it would be considered an upset. Both teams are.
They're both terrible.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. Both teams are playing up to their capabilities. That's what I'm going to say. But I think Mississippi State's going to pull this one out.
All right. Now comes my team. Look, Hawaii is traveling to Fresno. Craig Angelos is coming on. He is the athletic director of the University of Hawaii. He is going to come on our show. Fresno, Hawaii is always a quality matchup since they were back in the WAC. Fresno has kind of handled business as of late, but I'm not discrediting Hawaii. Look, Braden Shager, he had 4 rushing touchdowns last week against Nevada at homecoming. Hawaii, God, they've got to get a win on the road. They're 1-15 all time with Coach Chang as their coach on the road. I think Hawaii actually pulls the upset. I don't care that Fresno is favored by 12. I think Hawaii wins like 28-21.
You said it best, man. Hawaii under Chang, they're 1-16 on the road. I'm sorry, but it's going to end up being 1-17. I just don't see them beating Fresno State. And the reason, again, is not because of Fresno State, but it's because of Hawaii's inconsistencies.
They're very inconsistent.
But we'll see. We'll see. They might. When you're inconsistent, that means you're up and down. This might be an up game. This might be an up week for them. I think they can beat Fresno State if they click on all cylinders, man, and they're not making mistakes, and if the coaching is sharp. But due to the inconsistencies that I've seen, I'm gonna go with Fresno State here. Give me Fresno State 34-24.
Look, we have 95 people viewing the stream right now on all of the platforms. One of you guys, if you can, give us your top football game you're looking forward to this weekend and give us a score, and you may win a prize pack. All right, so now comes the state of South Carolina gets into the mix. A&M, and this is where Josh Pate of CBS Sports said this too, that South Carolina is poised to possibly pull the upset over A&M. I don't see it happening though. A&M, they've been relatively pretty consistent all the way through and through. South Carolina, they are the very inconsistent. They're consistently inconsistent. Which South Carolina team is going to show up? I think Texas A&M actually wins. I could see it being a pretty pretty significant game winning wise. But I'm going to say like 35-21. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with you there, man. I think that I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to maintain or to hold on, man. I think South Carolina is actually going to get probably blown out. South Carolina, man, I don't get it. You have all the talent in the world, man. You have a beast in like Nick Harbor, and you're not getting him the rock. You're not. They did this kind of with, I believe it was DK Metcalf played for them too as well, if I'm not mistaken. They have these once in a lifetime generational players. And ever since, it's just, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But I think Texas A&M is gonna wipe the floor with them because South Carolina is not gonna use their weapons to their full capabilities.
Look, we're not trying to dog you guys. We're not dogging them. Obviously,
use your weapons. Man. Use your weapons.
Yeah, don't centralize it on Lenore Steller's legs.
Exactly.
Because that doesn't really constitute you as getting victories. If you guys look And there are people who are, I promise you, that are gonna. We know a few actually. They're gonna try and challenge my ability to read. Matt can read it too. Lenore Lily comes back and it's one read run. That's what he does a lot of. Very rarely does he go 1, 2, 3, and then decide to use legs. It's literally one run. Utilize what you have.
Take your time, Lenore. Take your time, man.
There is yes, you have that clock. We know there's the clock. It's like 4 seconds is usually the average. And so you have the ability to extend, yes, but don't extend it right away because that's where you get yourself in trouble.
Yes.
Be comfortable and believe in your pocket. Your guards, they're there for you. They're going to fight as hard as they can. Trust in them. Trust the process. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. And a lot of people, you guys they were saying you're going to be like 4-8 this year. So 4-win season for them. And I'm starting to kind of see that it's a possibility because you guys are very, like I said, you're the most consistent, inconsistent team right now. And you really got to perform to your abilities. You have the talent. No one's saying you guys are garbage players, but let's take a look at let's branch to the NFL real quick. Let's look at the New York Jets. You literally have this, all-star roster, but you can't win. Why? Because you're so inconsistent. You don't perform to your ability. You don't want to be that kind of team where you have a $500 million roster and you get, $50,000 worth of playing kind of thing.
They won last night.
It's 8 sacks, by the way, folks. This, in case you're losing count on that one, that means Atlanta has 6 sacks for the whole season. We'll get into that later. All right, Clemson. It's a night game. Finally, they're playing Louisville. That's gonna be a good game, regardless. But I think Clemson's they're gonna still ride that high horse. I think Louisville will make it tough to start, but I think Clemson pulls it away second half. Clemson's has always been more of a second half team. They're really playing true to this year. I think Clemson actually wins. I'm saying 38. I'm gonna say 38-20. What do you think?
I agree with you, man. I think Clemson's offense is just a little too much it's gonna be a little too much for Louisville. Clemson, they can run it on the ground with Maffa. They can toss it through the air with their slow receivers. And they have a good quarterback in Cade Klubnik. And their defense is actually pretty legit too. Look, man, I got Clemson winning here 40-20.
Yeah, I like it. And Cade's slowly getting his name up in there into that possible Heisman talk. So, had he not lost to Georgia, he very well could have been the number one spot for the Heisman Trophy right now. So, and the season's not over yet. So Clemson has a chance they could go 11-1. Cade could have, exuberantly high stats, and he could pull a fast one and win the Heisman. We don't know yet. All right, South Alabama. I'm bringing them in because they're playing host at Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern just got what do you call it? Mollywopped. Just got mollywopped last week. South Alabama. I actually think South Alabama wins. I'm gonna say like 28-20. What do you think?
You know what, man? It's crazy. I'm gonna go with South Alabama too. I think they win 28-21.
I'm so proud of you for choosing a Mobile, Alabama area. All right, now comes a good one in the SEC, Matt. Tennessee, they're playing host to Kentucky. Look, Kentucky, they're not having the best of years. But they're still Kentucky. Kentucky is not a cakewalk by any stretch of the imaginations. However, Tennessee is going to have too much offensive power, and Kentucky is not going to have enough defensive power to overcome. So I think Tennessee wins. I'd say, honestly, 28-3. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Tennessee's ranked number 7 team in the nation, man. I don't think Kentucky has anything for them. I can see Tennessee winning. Give me 35-7.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good victory. It's gonna look the final back half of the SEC season is going to be one to watch. Same with the ACC. You do have, you kind of can see where it's going to be the fun part, of each conference, and we're looking forward to it. And hell, even some of the best content is the bottom feeders of a conference. So you never know. All right, speaking of the ACC, SMU number 20. and I'm really proud of what SMU has accomplished. They're playing against Pittsburgh. Look, Pitt, they don't have an offense, but they have a defense. And everybody knows the old cliche, defense wins championships, offense gets all the glory. Look, Pittsburgh, everybody knows what Pittsburgh is like. The steel curtain. There's a reason why they call it the steel makers, the steel curtain in Pittsburgh, the Steelers. Is, Pittsburgh just breeds them differently with defense. But I think SMU is going to be too quick, too fast. I think SMU wins 38-31. What do you think?
Yeah, SMU has actually really surprised me this season, man. But this is going to be a pretty good game. Pittsburgh 7-0, SMU 7-1. I think I'm going to go with SMU here too, man. I think SMU is just a more balanced team, man. I think SMU is going to pull out the victory. Give me 28-24.
I like it. And last but not least, folks, it is a Colorado team. Yes, they are playing at Reno, Nevada. They're traveling to Nevada. Look, Nevada, they've not been good for several years now. They're barely skating by on their hopes and prayers. I think Colorado State wins this game. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be like as you call it, mollywop fashion. I think it's going to be like 45-7. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to definitely go with Colorado State here. I think Colorado State is gonna come through. They're gonna attack viciously and swiftly, as I would say. I think they win 34-3.
Ooh. And folks, just want to let you give a little update here. Boise is up 28-3 on San Diego State, so it's starting to look.
Oh my God, they just had 13.
Yeah, we're about to see a blowout. So, hey, real quick, want to let you guys know the NHL owners have voted. There is 2 teams that are joining. They have not announced the 2 teams, but everybody should know who they are. From what we have been understandably led, it is going to be Atlanta and Houston. Stay tuned. We will have more updates with that one. We actually, Matt, I don't know if you know this. I'm talking to the beat writer of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's got to get the okay, but he's going to come on our show. And when he does, we're going to have some good hockey talk. I know you're excited about that, right? Come on. I mean, it's hockey. Hockey's fun to watch.
Definitely fun to watch, man. It's more fun, and it's more of a better experience to watch it in person because you can actually hear the hits and hear the slash on the glass. You can actually hear it, man. You see the teeth being knocked out. You see the blood, man. I mean, it's actually a very, very, very physical and violent sport when you're up close. But
right.
Yeah, man, yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting.
Look, guys, we've had an excellent show tonight. We've had so much fun. We hope you guys had fun. Obviously, to have 98 people here right now from Twitter, from Facebook, from YouTube, from Twitch, even. Yes, we even have those few that are watching in Twitch, guys. We've had an absolute blast with you. You got to hear us talk to somebody from San Houston State who is up and coming. They're on their way. They're real. They're legit. So be prepared for the Bearcats. They're not a pushover anymore. Obviously, we got the chance to talk about, what we think is going to happen this weekend in college football. We're excited about that. So, but who we have the most fun talking about is with you guys. We love having you here. You guys have made this possible. Without you, we aren't possible. We're growing every day. Just remember, guys, we are expanding our team. We're looking for 1 team member to start with us in season 3. We want you to kind of be more focused with the West, like Midwest and West Coast style of teams, like Dallas or Dallas West kind of thing. Dallas more to the West, that kind of stuff. Just get a little more into it. So if you are interested in coming and joining on, you can commit 2 days a week with us, Tuesday and Fridays. We'd really appreciate that. Let Matt or myself know. We will be happy to have you, do a guest host interview with us just to kind of see how you are and if it's a good fit for us. So, hey, want to quickly again give a shout out to Holden. I'm so happy my baby. She is 4 years old. She's not really my baby anymore. She's my big girl. And Matt, you'll be happy to know. She said she's getting big girl shrimp tomorrow as her meal. So proud of my baby.
That's awesome.
She will still be my baby forever. I don't care what anybody says. All right, guys. Next week we will have good episodes lined up for you. As you guys saw, we had a really good episode tonight with Sam Houston State. Look, we don't have anybody available for Tuesday. That's okay, though, because it's election day. It's going to be like a hit or miss kind of day for everybody. So Matt and I, we are going to talk some quality sports that have been. We have the NFL. We have the NHL. We have look, I'm also a coach for for youth basketball, so we can talk some about that too. We'll go more into that later on. I am my daughter's basketball coach. Yes, Matt, I know what you're thinking. Don't go too hard on her. Then next Friday, we have a good friend of ours, Shane Anderson from the Alabama Beaver. He is coming on. Cannot wait to have him on. And then our good friend, Brian Kajiyama, will come on November 12th. Guys, I really want you guys to, pencil that in on your calendar as a show to watch, because Brian, he's an amazing individual. He is very inspirational. Matt has really enjoyed his story. He has talked to Matt several times. He's a great friend of mine. Brian and we actually chatted today, so I'm really excited to have him on. Other than that, I can't think of anything else because it's Friday. Look, go have fun this weekend, y'all. Enjoy time with your family. Matt's going to enjoy time doing whatever. And, guys, we're not going to go into too much detail about this, but just keep Matt in your thoughts this weekend. It's kind of been a little bit of a rough patch because it is an unfortunate anniversary. We're not going to go into detail. Just think about him. It would really mean a lot to him to know that you guys are thinking of him. And for our good friend, Mr. Jason Barfield, the sports and media director of Sam Houston State, for this man right here, Mr. Matt Thomas, I am Brandon saying peace up, A-Town down. Why? We are natural AT aliens. We love you guys, and we are looking forward to talking with you on Tuesday. Matt, what do you tell these lovely people not to get done again?
All right, guys, don't get flagged. Enjoy yourselves. Behave this weekend. Behave.
Look, we know it was Halloween yesterday. We know you guys are going to have, post Halloween parties. That's okay. Don't do something stupid. Don't drink. Don't drive. Call an Uber. Get a ride. Share ride shares. Do whatever. Be safe. Be happy. Be honest. And we will see you guys then. See you guys on Tuesday. And until then, take care. And you got to go home, but you got to get the hiccup out of here. So see ya. And talk to you later.
I got some Uber value.
Well, he just did. He just scored 8 points. That's the thing. He had a career